Hello, welcome to this video. In this video we will going to learn about the basics of Python like data types, variables, string, if-else statements and some of the inbuilt functions. So first we'll start with the basics like data types. So we have the basic data type in Python as integer, decimals and text. So in programming we call them int, float and string. So you can see integers are numbers. They could be negative, positive, 0, anything. Decimals, we have anything, any number which is in a decimal form, just like 56.4. Then we have text. Text, or we have to call it, and when it comes to programming, you have to call it string. Then we have variable. So variable, it is something which can stores or holds a value. For example, if I'm going to write a equals to 10. So here my 10 is a value and I'm storing this value to this variable a. So this a will becomes my variable because it is holding this value 10. So as per the definition, this will be your variable. We can take any name in order to declare my variable. Like for example, a equals to 10, or I can write any name. Let's say num equals to 100. Again, this is a variable. So we can take any name in place of this variable, but still we have two rules for declaring variable. So the rules are, first of all, your variable, it should start with character or underscore. Like here you can see it is starting with the character n. So this is the correct variable declaration. Here also you can see it is starting with the character, which is a. So first rule is this: it should start with character or either underscore. And the second rule is it should not contain any special character except underscore. So if I'm going to write num @ equals to 10. So this is my incorrect variable declaration. Why exactly? First rule, it should start with character or underscore. So you can see it is satisfying the definition. Then the second rule is it should not contain any special character except underscore. So you can see here the name, it contains a special character which is @. So it is an incorrect variable. If I'm going to write num 1 2 3 4 5 equals to 10, again it's a correct variable declaration. As you can see, it is starting with the character and it is not having any special character. So it is a correct variable declaration. But if I'm going to write 5 val equals to 100. Now you can see the first rule. It should start with character or underscore. It is starting with a number. So again, it's a incorrect variable declaration. So this is my variable rules. And this is how you will going to declare your variables in programming. So then we have operators. Operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, float division, exponential, not operator, assignment operator, equality operator, and operator and or operator. So first we'll understand with the addition. So everyone is already aware of addition, subtraction, multiplication. So let's talk about first division. So if I'm going to write 15 divided by 4, so this will print exactly 3.75. You can see 3.75. Now we will understand about float division. I'm going to write here double division sign, which is float division. If I'm going to execute this command, so the answer will be same. It will consider only the integral part, which is 3. So now it will display 3. Again you can see if I'm going to write 1 divided by 2, 1 over 2. So this will display 0.5. But if I'm going to write 1 float division 2, float division 2, now it will consider only the integral part, which is 0. You can see 0. So this is the float division. Now we will understand the modulus. Modulus is the operator which is basically for the remainder. For example, if I'm going to write 15 modulus 3. Now we are going to divide 15 by 3. So 3 5 is 15. So 15 minus 15, remainder will be 0. So this will display 0. Basically it will display the remainder. One more example we're going to consider. Let's say this and 7. So 7 to the 14, 15 minus 14, remainder will be 1. You can see it will display 1. So this is our modulus operator. Then we have multiplication. So if I'm going to write 2 multiply 3. So this will display 2 3s are 6. 6 will be the answer. Now I'm going to use exponential operator, which is double asterisk symbol. So I'm going to write double asterisk. I'm going to execute this. Basically this means 2 to the power 3. So 2 to the power means 2 will be multiplied 3 times. So 2 2s are 4 and 4 2s are 8. So 8 will be the final answer. So this is basically for the power. Then we have not operator. Not operator, assignment operator, then equality operator. So first we will understand the assignment operator. So we already have discussed this operator assignment. Like if I'm going to write a equals to 10, here what will happen, this assignment operator is basically for the assigning of values to the variable. For example, I'm going to assign 10 into this variable a with the help of this assignment operator. You can see if I'm going to display the value of a, this will display 10, the value of a, which is 10. Whatever value this a variable will be holding, it will display the same value. Now we will understand double equal to operator. That is basically for the comparison, or I can say equality. Like if I'm going to write a double equal to 11, here it will check whether the value of a is it equal to 11. So guys, the value of a is 10. So now we have to check 10 is equal to 11 or not. So this is false. So this will display false. I'm going to write a equals to 10. Again here it will compare the value of a is 10. You can see here. Now it will check 10 is equal to 10 or not. So this is true. So hence the answer will be executed and printed as true. Now we will talk about the not operator. If I'm going to write a not equal to 11, here it will check the value of a, which is 10, not equal to 11. So this is true, as 10 is not equal to 11. So this will display true. If I'm going to write 10 not equal to 10, but 10 is actually equals to 10, so this will print false. This is not operator. Also we can use relational operator with this, like greater than, less than, like a greater than 100. So the value of a is 10, 10 greater than 100. This is false, so this will display false. If I'm going to write a greater than 4, so the value of a is 10 and 10 is actually greater than 4. So this will display true. Then we have two more operators, or and So and is basically for the multiplication and or is basically for the addition. For example, if I'm having true statement, then false statement. Here I have written end. So end is basically for the multiplication. So first of all, you need to understand true will be considered as 1, false as 0. So 1 multiply 0. So 1 multiply 0, the answer will be 0. So this will print false. Again, if I'm going to write true multiply, or I can say true and true. So this is 1, this is also 1, and this is multiplication. So 1 multiply 1 will be 1, and that will be true. Now we'll discuss the or operator. If I'm going to write true or false, so true will be 1, this will be 0, so 1 plus 0, again this will be true. If I'm going to write false or true, so again you can see false as 0 and true is 1, so 0 plus 1, this will be true. So this is my and or operator. So now we will discuss the first inbuilt function, which is print. So I'm going to declare some of the variables. Let's say name equals to Walker, age, let's say age is 34. Then we have percentage equals to 89.3. So these are my variables, and you can cross check every variable is satisfying those two rules. So I'm going to run this, and now I'm going to use my first inbuilt function, which is print. So how you will going to identify a function? So first of all, whenever you observe any name, and after any name, if you observe these parentheses, then there you can call that term directly as a function. Like for example, if I'm going to write function, I can't call this as a function. But if I'm having these parentheses, now I can call this as a function. We will discuss now print function. Print function is a function that will display the data. For example, if I'm going to write name, so now it will display the value which is holding by this variable name. So the value is Walker. So this will display Walker as it is. If I'm going to write print age, now it will display the value of age, which is 34. Print PER, so now it will display the percentage, which is 89.3. So these are my this is actually my first inbuilt function. Also, we can directly print out my data, like I can write any name into this, let's say hello. So this will display the same text as it is. And yes, in Python also you can use double quotes. It's your choice whether you have to use single quotes or double quotes. It will work like same. You can see. If you want to display any number directly, again you can pass those numbers. For numeric values, you don't have to mention the quotes. This quotes is only for the string. Now we will discuss the user input. How we can take input from the user. Suppose I want to take input from the user. That could be any name. So for that, first of all, we have to think like what all things are required for this condition. So first of all, user will enter a name. So in order to hold that name, we require a variable. In order to take input from the user, we require a function. In order to convey the user, like he needs to enter his or her name, we required a text message. So these three things will be required in order to take input from the user. So I'll write first of all the variable, anything I can take, let's say mouse, equals to, I'm going to use my input function, which is responsible for taking input from the user. Inside this, I'm going to write a text. So whenever you need to mention any text, make sure that text should be enclosed in quotes. Like for example, you can see, enter your name. So the moment I'm going to run this command, first of all, it will display the text, enter your name, and input function will get activated. And then it will ask you to enter something. So let's say if you have entered any name, for example, the moment I'm going to execute this command, first of all, it will display the message, which is enter your name. After that, it will ask you to enter something. And suppose you have written Harshit. And the moment I'm going to press the enter button, this text will get stored into this variable mouse. You can see I'm going to run this. Enter your name, Harshit. And I'm going to press the enter button. So this Harshit will get stored into this variable mouse. If you want to display that value, you can write print mouse, that variable name. Now this will display whatever value we are having in this variable. It will display the same value as it is. You can see. Now we will further study about this input function. Suppose I have a question like you have to input two numbers from the user and you have to display its summation. So here we will require two variables, let's say n1, n2. Then we have to take input from the user. So for that, I'll write input function, enter first number. Again, same thing, input, enter second number. Then I'll display the summation. So I can write n1 plus n2 directly into the print function. Or what I can do, I can create one more variable, let's say total. Total equals to n1 plus n2, and I can display the value of total. So if I'm going to run this code, what will happen? It will ask first number, then it will ask for the second number, and it will display the summation. So I'm going to execute this. First number, let's say 5, 7. it should display 12, but here it will display 57. Why exactly? Just because the property of input. So input function is having one property, and the property is it will always consider your data in a string form. No matters if you are going to pass numerical value, float value, any value, it will consider every value as a string. So that is why we are getting this answer, because this 5 is also as a string, this 7 is also a string. So if we are going to add these two strings, they will concatenate. So that is why we are getting 57 in place of 12. So in order to fix this, we need to put this command into int block. So I'm going to write int function here also, int. We call this typecasting. Why exactly? Suppose this is my number. Sorry, this is not my number, this is actually a string, because the data is enclosed in quotes. Whenever your data is enclosed in quotes, that will be referred as a string. Now I'm going to put this command into the int function. It will convert this string into the number. You can see this is a string and this is a number. You can add this to another number, but if you are going to add this number or this data to another data, it will always concatenate. So that is why we have used this int function. And suppose if you want to take a float value, you cannot take float values in this code. For this code, you can see if I'm going to write 5.6, it will throw an exception. So if you want to input, or if you want to store a float value, so for that you need to write float. Here also I'm going to run this 2.3, 4.2, you can see 6.5. We are getting the exact result. So now we will discuss the string in Python with basic functions. So first of all, what is string? So string is, I can say, any text that enclosed in quotes, either single quotes or double quotes. Or string is a group of characters, a bunch of characters. For example, I'm going to write val equals to elephant. So this is my string. If I want to display this, I can pass into the print function. It will display the value of val, which is elephant. Now string is having one property, which is indexing. Indexing means the location of each character. For example, you can see here, it will start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So if I'm going to ask what we have on val of 0, so in val I'm having elephant, and on 0 index I'm having this e. So this will display e as it is. Then we have val of 4. So on val of 4 we are having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, h. So this will display h. So this is basically the indexing. And make sure string indexing will always start from 0. Sometimes people, they do mistake, like they will start the indexing from 1. So that is wrong. And this is left to right indexing. You can see it is incrementing from my left to right. And you can see it is going from left to right. Similarly, we have one more indexing in Python, that is right to left indexing. And that will start from -1, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, and -8. So if I'm going to write val of -4, so on -4 you can see -1, -2, -3, -4. So this will display same h as it is. If I'm going to write val of -1, so this will display t. So now we will talk about the slicing. Before slicing, we will going to understand the first range function. Either I can write 0 to, or let's say 1 to 5, or I can write 1, 2, 5. This is my lower bound and this thing is my upper bound. And the one more rule of Python is Python always exclude the upper bound value. I can write so whatever we are going to pass in this upper bound side, that will be always excluded. Python will not consider that value. So it will start from 1, it will go till 4. Now we are going to relate this thing to my string. I'm going to write val of 1, 2, 5. It will start from 1. So on first index I'm having 0, on 0 I'm having E, on 1 I'm having L. So it will start from L, it will slice from L up to 4th index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically this will print LEPH. You can see. Now after this we can use negative indexing as well, like 2, 2, minus 2. So now this will start from second index 0, 1, 2. On second index I'm having this E, minus 2. On minus 2 I'm having minus 1, minus 2. On minus 2 I'm having N, but Python won't consider this value. So this will consider up to E. So basically the answer would be E to E. So it will print EPHA, since upper bound will be always excluded. So it will not go till that value. So this is slicing. Then we have some of the inbuilt functions of string. Like this is my string, and if I want to find out the length of characters, the length of the characters of this string. Suppose if I want to find out the length of this string, so I'll use alien function. This is a function just because after this name I'm having parentheses. So I'm going to pass my variable name. This will display the length of this string. Length means basically it will count the number of characters, 8. If you want to check whether a string starts with T or not, so you can write val dot starts with T. So you can see it is not starting with T, it is starting with E, so this will display false. Now I'm going to use the another function which is ends with val dot ends with I'm going to write here T. It will check whether this string val it is ending with T or not. So it is actually ending with T, so here it will display true. Next we have lstrep, rstrep and strep. These three functions we are basically using in order to remove anything from extreme front or extreme end. Suppose I'm having this data val elephant and I want to remove this E. So this is on my left side, so I'll use val dot lstrep, and I want to remove E, so I'll write E. You can see. So now we will talk about the lstrep. Suppose I want to remove anything from my left side, so I'll use val dot lstrep, and I'll write whatever I have to remove from the left side. So I'll write that character. Suppose I want to remove E, so I'll pass E, so it will remove E from the left side, extreme front or extreme end. Suppose if I want to remove anything from my right side, so I'll write val dot rstrep, and I'll write, let's say HANT. If I'm going to execute this, this will print ELEP. So this is what we are having for lstrep and rstrep. Then we have strep function. For example, I'm having data, for example, Kanak. Suppose if I want to remove this capital N from left side and small n from right side. So for that, I'll write val dot from left side, I have to remove capital K. I'll pass capital K. Then from right side, I have to remove small k. So I'll write rstrep and I'll pass K. You can see. Now suppose for example we are having Kanak and on both sides I'm having small k. So in that case I'll use strep. You can see. If we want to remove same character from both sides, there we can use strep function. If we have to remove different characters from different sides, there we have to use lstrep, rstrep together. It would be rstrep. From left side capital K, from right side small k. Then we have one more function which is format. For example, I have a name Gaurav, and I want to put this name in a statement. Let's say my statement is print this is Gaurav, I am from Delhi. If I'm going to execute this will print this is Gaurav, I am from Delhi. Suppose I want to change the name, means I want to customize the name. For example, it could be Gaurav, it could be Mayank, it could be anything. So for example, it could be, let's say it is Mayank. So I'll write Mayank here, and here I'll pass empty dictionary, and here I'm going to use format function, and here I'll pass the value. You can see. Or I can directly pass the values. This is Nitin, I am from Delhi. So this is a format function. You can use it in any string. Let's say if you want to change a particular data from a string, you can directly use this format function. So this is all from the basic. In next lecture, we're going to start the if-else statements. Thank you.